Governor Basio too congratulates President Tinubu, hails Supreme Court verdict. National Youth Council of Nigeria holds Agricultural Summit in Calabar, appeals for grants to support youth in agriculture. Plus, stakeholders campaign against forced labor in cocoa industry in Nigeria. Details of these and more shortly. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the news. I am Udwak Epan. The Cross River State Governor, Senator Basi Otu, has congratulated President Bola Tinubu on his affirmation as the bona fide president of Nigeria, describing the verdict as a true reflection of the will of the masses. The governor said this while reacting to the Supreme Court judgment, which aligned with the tribunal earlier ruling upholding Tinubu's victory at the poll. Governor too called on the litigants to accept the verdict in good faith and support President Tinubu in his quest to build a prosperous Nigeria, noting that the court's decision has strengthened the belief on the judiciary as the last hope of the common man. Governor too is optimistic that with the judgment, the president can now focus on the task of restoring the lost glory of Nigeria as the giant of Africa. The Cross River State Governor, Senator Basio too, has re-echoed his administration resolve to place high premium on human capital development, food sufficiency, quality healthcare services, and improved educational standards to better the lot of the people of the state. The governor said this while presenting a budget estimate of 250 billion naira for the 2024 fiscal year before the Cross River State House of Assembly. Justina Ethan reports.
The 2024 appropriation bill, tagged People First Budget, is targeted at completion of projects executed by previous administrations, youth and infrastructure development, job creation, and others aimed at repositioning the states for economic prosperity. Giving a breakdown of the budget, Governor Tu says capital expenditure will gulp 154 billion naira, while the sum of 96 billion naira has been proposed for recurrent expenditure.
In order to actualize the proposed development agenda based on the aforementioned expenditure profile, we need to collectively make sacrifice in terms of payment of our taxes and levies as at when due. The State Internal Revenue Service has been repositioned to ensure that every taxable adult is brought to the tax net. Presently, the State IRS, through its renewed revenue drive, has increased the state internally generated revenue profile by 21%.
Speaker, Cross River State House of Assembly, Elvet Ayambem, assured of speedy passage of the appropriation bill.
Your Excellency, your total commitment towards eradicating criminality in the state has demonstrated in several efforts made by your administration to stamp out fraudulence, hooliganism, and other forms of social vices to ensure permanent peace in the state is commendable.
Earlier, the House granted approval to the state government to assess loan facilities from United Bank for Africa and the Central Bank of Nigeria for purchase of vehicles and payment of debts owed Coscaris Motors by the immediate past administration. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
The National Youth Council of Nigeria is appealing for grants from the federal and state governments, thereby encouraging the youth to key into various agricultural value chain for food availability in the country. This was at the second edition of the Cross River State Agricultural Youth Summit held in Calabar. The summit, with the theme Back to Land, served not only as a platform for knowledge sharing on agribusinesses for youth development, but strengthening collaboration with agricultural stakeholders who encourage the youths to harness full potential of the state through various agricultural value chain such as fishery, poultry, crop farming, and others. Deputy Governor Cross River State Peter Ode, represented by the Commissioner for Youth Development, noted that the state government is committed to empowering the youths and embracing sustainable agriculture is key to agricultural revolution in Nigeria.
We are encouraging our young people to take to agriculture, and then as a state government, we're taking it as a deliberate campaign, to make sure young people begin to embrace agriculture in Cross River State. This team Back to Land is like a clarion call, to the young people, to Cross Riverians, to return back to that God-given potential, which is the land.
In terms of government policy and the rest, we actually want good ideas from people. Government will support anybody who has a creative idea to develop the state, and agriculture is one of them. And youths are the backbone of this administration.
For the National Youth Council of Nigeria, investing in modern agri-technology requires funding. Therefore, the youths are appealing for support from the government to enable them venture into farming.
The Youth Council at the national level and at the state level will stand as a guarantor to Nigerian youth. Let them be giving funds for their businesses, for the agricultural businesses, so that this economy will stabilize and then we have enough to eat as a nation.
So if we're talking about the land, the idea is that let's just go back to the land. And so the importance of going back to the land is that you have a new life entirely. Your finances will change, your courage and all of that. So for us, the Back to Land is an experience we want young people to take part and benefit. The land itself is very fertile.
The Agricultural Youth Summit, organized by the National Youth Council of Nigeria, is in collaboration with IFAD-assisted Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises for the Niger Delta, Life ND Projects, and other partners.
Cross River State is blessed. The 3 senatorial districts represent 3 different ecological zones in the state. The IFAD Livelihood Project is intervening in 4 major commodities of rice, cassava, fish, and poultry. We mainstream into nutrition and climate change.
There was paper presentation on the role of technology in agriculture, as guest speaker Emmanuel Nsa emphasized the need for government to invest in modern technology for agriculture advancements. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News. The need to generate a productive conversation among key stakeholders towards reduction of forced labor and other human rights violations, improve working conditions in the cocoa industry in the country has been brought to the fore. This is as critical stakeholders converge on Calabar to advance the fight against forced labor in the cocoa industry in Nigeria. Oba Hysen tells us more.
Cocoa is Nigeria's largest agricultural export commodity, which experts say is thriving with a lot of forced labor and other human rights violations in all the value chains, from cultivation, production, marketing, exporting, a trend which is becoming a norm. To this end, AfriLaw Foundation is championing the cause of sensitization in partnership with stakeholders to change the narratives.
In agriculture, cocoa production and export is one of the major earners of the foreign revenue for the country. And if we are going to diversify and promote agricultural investment, there's need also to have a sustainable cocoa industry. And that's why AfriLaw and partners begin to look what are the challenges that are going to hinder this effort of the federal government to promote the agricultural sector. And that is where we now begin to see that forced labor is a growing case. And if not tackled, is going to hamper and hinder this effort of the government.
Stakeholders commend the initiative of raising awareness against child and forced labor, which contravene both child and human rights laws, and the cocoa industry should protect the rights of workforce in line with international best practices.
The research has covered everyone, all the persons involved in the cocoa value chain. And I think it is a good one for us to bear in mind to ensure that nobody is victimized.
Before you talk of implementing a law or prosecuting an offender, there must be a report that an incident had occurred. So that is why all of us are giving kudos to AfriLaw for this extensive, explosive research work. It has now directed stakeholders to where to look for what within the cocoa industry in Cross River State. And as a way of making good the outcome of the report, families, individuals, organizations within the society should become monitors.
So NAPO as an agency, we are doing our best to make sure such perpetrators are punished according to the law.
As a service, we place very high premium on the fight to eradicate or at least reduce to the barest minimum this heinous crime of trafficking of children or forced labor in all spheres of our national life.
Nigeria, being the fourth largest cocoa producer stakeholder, are of the view that sanitizing the sector will stimulate growth and investment with the flag up of the campaign. In Calabar, Obahaisen, NTA News.
That is part of our news. Thanks for watching. I am Uduak Etam.